The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 0-3 Colfax Vikings have traveled to Whitehall, Wisconsin to take on the 2-0 Whitehall Norsemen. The Vikings are going to try to get into the winning column following their 70-37 loss to the Bloomer Blackhawks on Thursday night. On the other hand, the Norse are looking to build upon their 75-54 win over the Olivestrom Cardinals last Thursday. Now, in tonight's edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Whitehall Norsemen and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Whitehall Norsemen and the Colfax Vikings. The 0-3 Vikings are trying to pick up their first win of the season following their 70-37 loss to the Bloomer Blackhawks back on Thursday. Now, in that game against Bloomer, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'11 junior Aiden Fisher, who hit 7 field goals, including a three-pointer, and went 5 for 7 from the free throw line for 20 points. He was followed by 5'9 senior Elijah Ensminger with 9 points. Now, the Whitehall Norse play in the large Dairyland Conference, and they come into tonight's game with a 2-0 record following their 75-54 win over the Olivestrom Cardinals on Thursday. Now, unfortunately, Whitehall hasn't updated any of their numbers from Thursday, so we can't give you the leaders in their game with Olivestrom. But going into that game with Olivestrom, the Norse were being led in scoring by Braden Lisowski, who was averaging 25 points per game. The Norsemen have a total of 5 players averaging in double figures. In addition to Lisowski, look for Grant Olson, Preston Schroeder, Seth Lambeck, and Mason Pintock to contribute to their scoring. Pintock leads the way on the boards for Whitehall with 10 rebounds per game, while Schroeder and Lisowski follow, pulling down 6 rebounds each. Now, thus far this season, the Vikings are being led in scoring by Ensminger, who's averaging nearly 20 points per game. Aiden Fisher is also scoring in double digits with an average of almost 14 points per game. Mason Yarrington is also contributing 6 points per game. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood. Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
And once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Noel. And Coach, back on Thursday, the Vikings dropped a decision to the Bloomer Blackhawks 70-37 in a game where it seemed like, try as they might, the Vikings just couldn't get on track. What can you tell us about that performance?
Well, I thought in the first half, we were down 30-19 at halftime. So we were only down by 11. I felt we had some good shots, some good looks that just didn't go our way. But, I thought we were competing. And I give Bloomer credit in the second half. They maybe made a couple adjustments that went their way, and they found their 3-point shot. They made 8 threes in the second half.
Yeah, but they felt like 8-point shots, didn't they?
Yeah, it did feel like 8-point shots. And they shot a higher percentage from the 3 than they did the 2. And anytime you do that, you probably got a good chance of winning the game.
And, in fact, you kind of mentioned it here. In that game, the Vikings started out playing the Blackhawks pretty even through much of that first half. Then it appeared as though, like you said, the Blackhawks adjusted, and the Vikings were a little bit slow to respond to those adjustments. Is this one of those situations where, as the Vikings gain experience, because you've said you don't have a whole lot of experience on this squad, that problem should resolve itself?
Yes, I think over time it will. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be a process. And these kids just need to keep plugging away every day, keep working, keep listening, keep trying to, push each other to get better every day in practice, and that's what we're talking to them about. And we haven't done them any favors. We went out and scheduled some really tough non-conference games right away. The first 3 teams that we played, Somerset's ranked 8th in Division II, and then you got Amory and Bloomer are also D3. All 3 of them are D3 teams, so they're twice our size. So we're not cutting it easy on these kids with playing an easier conference or a non-conference schedule, but that is also, I think, we want that. We want these kids to get pushed because that's how you find out what you need to work on. If we're winning by 20, we're not learning anything.
I would bet these guys not taking anything away from any of the conference teams, but they're probably looking forward to getting into that conference schedule where the teams are at least from schools that are approximately the same size.
Yeah, that will help. I mean, obviously, obviously Elk Mountain is still twice our size and stuff like that, but that'll help us get prepared to play some of those schools when it comes to the physicality.
Well, tonight the Vikings take on another tough opponent, the Whitehall Norsemen. The Norsemen are currently 2-0 and have shown the ability to put plenty of points on the board. So what can you tell us about the Norsemen and the challenges that they present?
Well, obviously they're a team that went to state last year in Division 4, and obviously they graduated some kids, but they still have their second best player is back, who's obviously their best player this year. And I know in the first game he had around 25. I haven't looked yet to see what he got in the second game here last night. But they're going to be, and it's on the road. It'll be a good contest for us. I'm looking forward to it. But I just want to see us keep growing, keep getting better, and I want to see us compete at a much higher level of intensity.
You kind of hinted at it. The Norse look like they rely on their 6'2" senior guard, Braden Lisowski.
Yes.
He's averaging in that 20-point per game range, and he appears to be deadly from three-point land. What do the Vikings need to do to keep him under control?
Well, in all 3 of our games this year, we've had kids like that. Somerset had 2 kids like that. And then so did Somerset, and last night they had 1 kid like that. So it's not something that we're not used to seeing. We're used to seeing one kid that's a really good scorer. I want to see on our team who steps up to the challenge and wants to guard those kids and who can help us. We're getting Blake Johnson back, so that will help us a lot tonight with getting him back in the fold because he's a kid that has, he'll be in his second year of being a starter for us, so that'll be nice. That will help us with rebounding and especially on the defensive end.
Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can find a way to get win number 1 tonight.
Thank you. Go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner with but they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Dunn St. Croix Conference continues to get tuned up for conference play as most of the teams have been in non-conference action. Now, in the most recent results for conference teams, back on Thursday, Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran traveled to Spring Valley, and Eau Claire Emmanuel came out on top 52-49. Then on Friday, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves journeyed to Osseo to take on the Osseo Fairchild Thunder, with Osseo Fairchild getting the win 80-45. The Elk Mound Mounders traveled to Arcadia to face the Arcadia Raiders, with Elk Mound earning the victory 53-45. In addition, the Durand, Arkansas Panthers and Neilsville Warriors battled to a 46-31 win for the Panthers. And the Glenwood City Hilltoppers defeated Alma Pepin Eagles 54-41. Tonight, the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Whitehall Norsemen, who play out of the large Dairyland Conference. This game will be a challenge for the Vikings, as the Norse are undefeated. However, the Vikings would sure like to secure their first win of the season. Meanwhile, the Norsemen would like to build upon their fast 2-0 start to this season. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to our broadcast crew at Whitehall High School as we bring you all the action of tonight's boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Whitehall Norsemen. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because it felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Boys Basketball is on the air.
He'll pass it out to Blake Johnson. He'll take the shot for three. Vikings.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN2, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Boys Basketball.
Swinger down inside to Hoffman. He'll drive the right side of the lane, pop it up from 6. Good.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
Charlo out to Ensminger for three. He hits it!
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Well, good evening and welcome to Whitehall High School. I'm Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow and Chris Olson on the camera. Your normal voice of Viking Boys Basketball, Jay Fall, is a little under the weather, and we wish you well, Jay. Hope to see you back here with it on Thursday. And I think we're going to send it down to the public address announcer and the national anthem and player introductions. I think we're going to get school songs first.
Featuring the visiting Colfax Vikings and your Whitehall Norsemen. Then we welcome our officiating crew, Travis and Trent Parr and Todd Bristol. Thank you, gentlemen, for officiating tonight's game. At this time, to honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask that those who are able to please stand. Remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem performed by Whitehall student Miss Ira Bergeson. And as they're getting ready to introduce the players for tonight's game, Dan Petchow is going to give us the starting lineups at the same time. And we'll start with the Colfax Vikings.
Yeah, starting off will be the 5'11" junior, number 4, Aiden Fisher. Also 5'9" senior, number 10, Elijah Ensminger. 5'10" senior, number 15, Mason Arrington. 6 foot senior, number 23, Blake Johnson. And 6'3" senior, number 33, Eli Ralph. For the Norsemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your starting five, Whitehall Norsemen.
Leading off will be their 6'2" senior, number 2, Braden Lazowski. Also 6 foot junior, number 5, Mason Pintock. And 6'1" senior, number 10, Preston Schrader. Also number 5'11" senior, number 11, Grant Olson. And number 5'11" senior, number 24, Seth Lembeck.
And so there you have it. The starting lineups for both the Whitehall Norse. As I've been informed, that's what they prefer to go by, the Whitehall Norse. And the Colfax Vikings. So out there for the Norse again, Lasowski, Pintock, Schrader, Olson, and Lembeck. For the Vikings, Fisher, Ensminger, Yarrington, Johnson, and Ralph. Ralph jumping center, controls the tip, and is picked up by Ensminger, and he brings it down the floor. Vikings moving from left to right. He gets it over to Fisher. On the left side, feeds it down into the right corner to Johnson, puts up the three. No, it doesn't go. And the ball's picked up by the Norse. They bring it down the right side. That's Olson, gets it over into the corner to Lambeck. Lambeck out high to Lasowski. Then cross court over to Olson to the free throw line. Over to Pintock, and he hands it off to Lasowski.
Colfax in man.
Lambeck with it between the circles. Over to the right side to Lasowski. Then out high to Olson. Olson at the top of the key. Takes it down the right or left side. Turns around, loses the handle on the ball, but chases it back down. He's on the left side, hands it off to Lasowski. Lasowski gets it out high. That's to Lembeck. Cross-court pass over to Lasowski. High, wide, and left. Now he drives down along the baseline into the lane, and he walked.
That good defense there by Colfax.
Lasowski tried to do a little pivot move in the lane and dragged that pivot foot. Fisher with the ball for the Vikings. Gets it across the timeline on the right side. Picked up his dribble, needs some help. Ensminger tries to get it, can't. They get it forward, pass down to Lasowski for the Norse. He gets it out to Pintock. Over to Lambeck, and then to Olson in the right corner. Now to Pintock, lays it up, it won't go in, and down comes Fisher with the ball for the Vikings on the right side. Takes it back toward the lane, gets out, shots blocked. Shot by Yarrington from three-point land was blocked out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball.
Yeah, both teams doing a good job getting back on transition.
Johnson inbounds it to Ensminger. He's high, wide right. He's on the dribble now. Loses his footing. Gets the ball back and gets it over to Fisher, back to Ensminger. Jumper from the free throw line, puts it in, and the Vikings draw first blood. Down the floor come the Norse. Olson with it on the left side. Gets it out between the circles to Lasowski. Back over to Olson, drives into the lane, puts it up, and no, it won't go. Rebound taken down by the Norse. Put back shot no good, and the Vikings come away with it. That push back shot was by Schrader. Johnson with it on the left side for the Vikings, gets it to Fisher. Fisher over to Ensminger, high, wide, and left. Takes it between the circles, back over to the left side to Johnson. Johnson drives into the lane, tries to feed it down underneath to Ralph, but it got tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Schrader of the Norse. So the Vikings will inbound it. Ensminger lays it up. It won't go in. Boy, Ensminger had a nice layup there. It just wouldn't drop. Olsen with it. High, wide left. Now they get it out between the circles to Lisowski. Over to the right side now to Lambeck. Lambeck drives the baseline, feeds it to Pintock underneath. They get it out to Lisowski on the right side to Pintock. Jumpers no good. Ball gets saved inbounds, but right into the hands of Ensminger. To Johnson, gets it to Ralph, who lays it up and in, and the Vikings are up 4-0.
Offensive transition is going to be a good thing for Colfax tonight. They can keep it up.
Lambeck with it. Gets it over to Lisowski. Takes it to the lane. Fall away jumper is good. Four to 2. Vikings on top. Coming up on 14 minutes to go in the first half. Ensminger on the dribble. Gets it to Johnson down in the left corner. He dribbles it back out to Fisher. Feeds it underneath to Ralph, who lays it in. Here come the Norse back down the floor, and they lay it up and in, and that was Schrader with the shot. Ensminger drives down, lays it up. They're going to call player control foul on Elijah Ensminger. You know, Dan, you're told if you're in traffic, take it to the hole, but you can't run anybody over in the process.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was a little deep, the Norseman.
Vikings on top, 6-4. Norseman with the ball. Schrader has the ball. He loses the handle on it. It goes out of bounds, and the Vikings will get it. Norse are putting on full court pressure. Long pass into Ralph. He gets it back to Ensminger. Ensminger in the backcourt. Right through the Viking head, or the Norse head. Feeds it over to Johnson. Drives to the lane. Out to Fisher. Puts up the three. No. Ralph with the rebound. Lays it up and in.
Eli Ralph with the hot hand right now.
Schrader with it at the free throw line. Gets it out to Lisowski. Puts up a three. No. Rebound taken down by Ensminger. Gets it to Johnson on the right side. Feeds it down to Ralph. Ralph puts up the jumper. No good. Rebound taken down by the Norse. And they come across the timeline. This is Lambeck. Gets it over to Lisowski on the right side. Then they feed it to Youngbauer. Then back over to Lambeck. Shot is up, no good. Follow-up is no good, and another follow-up is no good. And again the rebound. That's Johnston with it. And finally the Vikings come away with it. Ensminger lays it up and in. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor with the Vikings on top. 10-4, 12:15 remaining in the first half. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Banking on relationships.
If you spent the summer putting off home improvement projects, don't worry, Dairy State Bank can help. Whether you're planning to add on, winterproof, or repair storm damage, we can help you with the financing. For more information, visit dairystatebank.com or give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dairy State Bank.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Boys Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Thursday, December 7th, when the Vikings will travel to Durand, Wisconsin to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Thursday, December 7th.
back here in Whitehall as the Norse have the ball. Vikings have the lead, and they get it over to Lisowski. Three-pointer goes in from the left side.
Lisowski has 5 points. Five of the seven.
Ensminger with the ball for the Vikings, quickly across the timeline. Stops at the free throw line, puts it up, it's no good. Eli Ralph with the rebound, he tries to go up, and we're going to get a...
It's like a foul on the floor. Number 3?
I believe William Youngbauer with the foul. The 5'6" freshman.
First team foul for the Norsemen.
Fouls are even at 1 apiece for the teams. Johnson gets the ball in to Ensminger. He had to go up and battle for that. Drives to the lane. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Norse. And the Vikings will have it. Johnson to inbound. Long inbound pass to Ensminger. Actually in the backcourt. He brings it quickly across into the forecourt. Fisher with it at the top of the key. Gets it to Johnson on the right side. Feeds it into the lane to Ralph. Ralph puts it up. It's no good. Rebound being fought for. Ralph comes away with a loose change, and we're going to get a travel called on Ensminger. Ensminger can't believe it. He thought he went to the floor with it right away.
Yeah, Eli Ralph tonight's coming with a jump in his step. He's got crash on the board. He's got a block. Got 6 points.
Lambeck with it. He gets it over to Olsen on the far side. Down into the corner to Youngbauer. Back to Olsen. They swing it back out to Youngbauer. Puts up the 3. No. Rebound being tipped around. And the Vikings come away with it. Fisher on the drive. Puts it up. No. Rebound.
They're going to get a foul on Eli Ralph, I would guess.
Yeah, fouls on Eli Ralph. That's his first personal. Second team foul on the Vikings.
Yeah, Colfax trying to get out in transition and on offense, and Norsemen have been a good job getting back, contesting it.
Johnston with it, gets it over to Olsen. He's got it down in the left corner, now dribbles into the lane, backs out. Then down underneath is that Pintock, and
we're going to get a foul on Whitehall.
And that's going to be another foul on Youngbauer, I believe. Oh no, they're saying it's on.
Should be. He was the only one down there.
I think the scoreboard put it up backwards. Or maybe that's his second personal on foul on person number 3. Okay. It's Youngbauer's second foul. 2 team fouls. Down the floor comes Ensminger. He's on the left side. Feeds it back out to Johnson, high, wide, and left. Takes it to the top of the key, spins, drives the lane, no good. Gets his own rebound, feeds it out to Fisher, steps back to 3. No, just off the front of the iron, tipped out of bounds, and it's going to be the Norse ball. 10:16 remaining in the first half. And down the floor come the Norse. Youngbauer with it, feeds it out high. That's Lisowski, drives to the lane, puts it up. No, it won't go. They kick it back out to Youngbauer, then to Olsen from the top of the key, and he hit it. And we are tied at 10.
And Olsen's got 5 points.
Aiden Fisher on the dribble, takes it to the top of the key, puts up the shot, he hit it. Fisher hits the 3, and the Vikings go back up on top 13-10. Here come the Norse down the floor. They feed it out into the corner. Shot goes up. No. Rebound chased down by Johnson. That was Lisowski with the attempted three-pointer, and we're going to get a foul on Johnson with a little forearm action as he was trying to get some space.
Yeah, not a lot there.
They're going to call it tight, it looks like. Lisowski with the ball. Feeds it over to the right side to Olsen, back over to Youngbauer. Now to Lisowski on the left side. Back out high to Olsen. Over to Schrader. Schrader takes it on the right side. Or that's Olsen with it. Now they get it out high, and the shot is good by Lisowski, and we're even at 13.
Yeah, Whitehall got Colfax chasing. Left the man open.
And Sminger on the dribble, feeds it over to the left side to Fisher. Fisher puts it up, it's no good. Put back is up and in. That was by Orion Nichols. Olsen with it for the Norse, and he hands it off to Lisowski. Feeds it to Pintock, drives the baseline and lays it in. Now they're trading baskets. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor. With the score all knotted up at 15, 8:28 to go in the first half. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Back here at Whitehall High School, highly energized crowd on both sides. Vikings inbound the ball, Johnson with it. To Ensminger, to Johnson across the timeline. Cross-court pass to Ralph, drives into the baseline, gets it back out to Johnson, puts up the three. No, but we have a whistle and a foul with a push-off. And it's going to be on the Vikings, on Eli Ralph. That's his second personal. Fourth team foul on the Vikings. Logan Swartz into the lineup for the Vikings. Ball comes into Olsen, gets it right back over to Youngbauer. Over to the far side to Lisowski, back to Olsen, three-pointer, and he hit it. 18-15, first lead for the Norse. And as Yarrington was coming by Ensminger, he tried to hand the ball off. I don't think Yarrington was expecting it, and it went out of bounds. It'll be the Norse ball.
Logan Schwartz comes in for Eli Ralph.
Olsen with it. Feeds it over to the far side. And this is Schrader, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound tipped around and taken away by Johnson. Feeds it off to Ensminger, does a little shake and bake and gets it right down into the lane. Puts it up, it rolls off, won't go in. Orion Nichols lays it up and in.
Colfax crashing the boards, getting extra points off.
Olsen with it, gets it over to Lisowski. Lisowski, back out high, that's Johnston. To Lambeck, cross-court pass over to Lisowski. Puts it to the floor, tries to take it to the lane. Now kicks it out to the far side. Taking it in is Olsen, loses the handle, the Vikings come away with it. Feeding it down the floor to Johnson, lays it up, and it goes in.
Good transition ball by Colfax.
Vikings back on top, 19-18. Lisowski with it between the circles for the Norse. Gets it out to Johnston, puts up the three, no. Rebound taken down by Nichols. Feeds it off to Ensminger. Ensminger spins, pulls it up. off the front of the iron. Ball gets tipped. And I didn't see which way they're saying it's going. I think it's going to be Norse ball. The Vikings purposely held back. I think they thought the Norse touched it.
Yeah, I think it was off Logan Schwartz.
Ensminger takes a little bit of a break. And down the floor comes Lambeck. He gets it over to Johnston. Cross-court pass over to Olsen, drives to the lane, gets it out to Pintock. Pintock from the free throw line gets it out to Olsen. His shot is no good, and coming down with it is Fisher. Fisher across the timeline to the top of the key, spins in the lane, puts it up, and he walked with it.
Yeah, he got caught in the paint there, got double teamed and didn't know where to go with it.
Right in the middle of his spin.
Yeah, nowhere to go with it.
So the Norse come back down the floor. Johnston with it, feeds it over to Lambeck, over to Olsen on the near side. Olsen takes it to the top of the key, now feeds it over to the far side. This is Lambeck, drives down the baseline, lays it up, it doesn't go. Rebound taken away by the Vikings. This is Nichols coming down the floor, takes it into the lane, feeds it underneath to Fisher, lays it up and puts it in. Aiden Fisher with 2.
He has 5 points tonight.
Johnston with it. Gets it out high. This is Olsen. Back to Johnston in the near corner. Now he dribbles out to the top of the key. Now over to the far side. Now taking it into the lane, putting it up and in is Youngbauer. 21-20, Vikings on top. 5 minutes and some change left in the first half. Aiden Fisher with it on the near side, gets it out high to Yarrington. Yarrington feeds it out to Johnson, to Fisher, lost the handle. He tried to cut the lane, forgot to take the ball with him. So down the floor come the Norse. Olsen has it, gets it out to Lambeck. Lambeck takes it down the lane, lays it up, it won't go in. Ball's knocked out of bounds, it's going to be Viking ball. Into the lineup for the Norse are Schrader and Lasowski. Theo Hovde coming in for the Vikings.
Mason Darrington will sit down.
As will Blake Johnson, as Elijah Ensminger came back in. Down the right side of the lane, feeding it out to Ensminger, puts up a 3. No, it's off the side of the glass, and the Norse come away with it. Down the floor and into the lane is Lambeck. He lost the handle. Here come the Vikings down the floor. Nichols with it. Feeds it on out to Schwartz. Back over to Nichols, puts up the 3 off the back of the iron, no good. Nichols chases down his own loose change. Gets it to Fisher. Fisher to Hovde, 3-pointer is no good, and coming away with it are the Norse. At the top of the key is Youngbauer, puts up a 3, rattles around, won't go down, and Ensminger got the ball knocked away. Pintock put it up and in, and the Norse are back on top by 1, 22-21.
Pintock's got 4 points.
And pass intended for Fisher is intercepted, and laying it up and in is Schrader. 24-21, 3-point lead now for the Norse. Vikings bring it down the floor. Fisher with it, drives into the lane, and we're going to get a blocking foul called. That's going to put Fisher to the free throw line.
Fans don't like to call, but he got him with his hit, not the body.
Foul is on Pintock. First shot is up and good by Fisher. (24-22), Vikings down by 2, make that down by 1. 24-23. Lasowski bringing the ball down, feeds it down into the far corner. This is Youngbauer. Back out to Lambeck. And Lambeck gets tied up, and I think they're going to call a foul on Orion Nichols.
Yeah, he tried to grab the ball and got caught with the sand in the cookie jar.
Johnson back into the lineup for the Vikings. Schwartz takes a break. Norse will have the ball, and they have a 1-point lead coming up on 3 minutes remaining. This is Schrader putting it up. It's no good. And Sminger with the rebound quickly down the floor. And they're going to say he double dribbled. He kind of lost control as he was going through the lane. I'm not sure if it was really a double dribble, but if it wasn't, it fooled the official.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a hesitation.
Lambeck gets it down underneath the Pintock. Back out to Lambeck. To Lisowski off the left side of the lane. Stops, jumps, no good. Johnson with the rebound to Ensminger, and the ball gets knocked away out of bounds, but last touch by Ensminger. And we have a timeout on the floor with 2:33 remaining in the first half. It's the Norse 24, Vikings 23 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back here at Whitehall High School. Vikings trail by 1. And the Norse lay it up and put it in. That was Johnston driving the right baseline and putting it up and in. Blake Johnson with it for the Vikings. Takes it into the lane. Gets it out to Yarrington. To Fisher from 3. Rattles around, no. Rebound, put back up by Ensminger. It's no good, but he's going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Ryan Nichols had the ball, and Ensminger took it away from him.
That's the second foul on Pintock. First shot on the way, and it's good by Ensminger. 26-24. Lambeck into the lineup for Pintock for the Norse. And Sminger's second shot is good. 1-point game again. 26-25, and the Norse have it on the far side. That's Olsen with it. Gets it out high to Lisowski. Over to the near side to Johnston. Johnson back over to Olsen at the free throw line. Gets it over to Lambeck on the near side. Now back to Lisowski on the far side. To Olsen, high, wide, and left. Olsen at the free throw line, backs out. Gets it to Johnston at the top of the key. Comes down to Lisowski, back out to Johnston, to Lambeck. To Olsen, to Lisowski, tries to drive the lane, jump stop, turns, and he walked.
Yeah, good defense by Colfax. Got tracked down on the paint, nothing there.
Johnson looking to inbound it. They get it into Fisher. He gets it back to Johnson. Johnson on the dribble, gets it over to the left side to Yarrington. Yarrington feeds it down low to Nichols. He puts it up, no, and the rebound taken down by Lisowski. Lisowski feeds it over to Schrader, then down into the corner to Olsen. Olsen dribbles it back out high to Lisowski, to Lambeck. Now coming back to the near side, and it looks like Schrader zigged when Olsen thought he was going to zag, and it went out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Full court pressure being put on by the Norse. Johnson gets it in to Ensminger. Ensminger up across the timeline. Feeds it over to Fisher. Fisher gets it out to Johnson. Launches a three. High off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Lisowski. About 30 seconds remaining in the half.
Could probably play for one.
This is Johnston with it. Gets it over to Lambeck. Lambeck high, wide right. Now he's between the circles. Feeds it over to Olsen on the right side. Under 10. Over to Olsen. To Lisowski. Looking for a shot. Throws it up. It's no good. And we've reached halftime. So the score at halftime is the Whitehall Norse 26 and the Vikings 25. And we will have Viking halftime right after this timeout. You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
Me the babe, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for you.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Mason Yarrington, who's a senior here at Colfax High School. And Mason, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I play baseball, and I'm in NHS.
Okay, keeps you kind of busy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
Probably started playing in 3rd grade, and I just enjoy playing basketball with my friends. That's why I keep doing it.
All right, now what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
You got to be mentally tough. You can't let little things affect you. Just got to push through it.
Yeah. And get those behind you, and short memory, they say.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I like to watch sports, play video games, go fishing, all kinds of stuff.
Okay. All right, here's the famous rapid-fire questions. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie.
Which kind?
Apple. My grandma's apple pie.
Oh, okay. She makes you some. You make sure you bring some along one of these days, all right? Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Burger.
What do you want on that burger?
Cheese, onions, and some ketchup.
All right. That sounds like a good burger. Your favorite color?
Blue.
Any reason for it?
I liked it when I was little.
Hey, that's as good a reason as any. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
Invisibility.
Why would that be?
I don't know. It just seems like it'd be cool.
It'd be cool. Okay. Now, if you have the power of invisibility, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Mason's superhero name?
I'll be the Slim Reaper.
The Slim Reaper. Oh, I like that one. All right. Favorite NBA team?
The Bucks.
Favorite collegiate team?
Badgers.
All right. Is there a basketball player at any level who has influenced the way you play the game?
Probably Steph Curry.
Okay, and what about Steph Curry's game has rubbed off on you?
Shoot threes.
Shoot threes, okay. We're talking with Mason Yarrington today on Viking Profile. And Mason, what are your plans for after high school?
I plan to go to college.
Do you know where?
Between La Crosse and Michigan right now.
Okay. Thinking about being a Wolverine, huh?
Might be.
Okay. And how about a shout out to the family?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. Hope you're enjoying it.
Now, when people watch Viking games, what number do you wear and where are they going to find you on the floor?
I'll be number 15 and I'll play a little bit of everywhere.
Okay, very good. We want to thank Mason Yarrington for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcast Network.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
And welcome back to Whitehall High School, where the Vikings are trailing the Norse 26-25. Dan, why don't you quickly let us know how we got there?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for Whitehall. They're led by number 2, Braden Lazowski and Grant Olson. They both have 8 points, followed by Mason Pintock. He's got 4. William Youngbauer's got 2. Preston Schrader's got 2, and Caden Johnson's got 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by 2 players. Number 10, Elijah Ensminger, he has 6, and Eli Ralph has 6. And I am wrong. Aiden Fisher's got 7, Ryan Nichols has 4, and Blake Johnson has 2. 26-25 Whitehall.
And we have basically a barn burner going on so far, at least in the first half. High intensity, and both teams playing strong transition ball, getting up and down the floor, and as coaches have said for years, they're getting at it.
Yeah, both teams, both ends. You know, Whitehall has a few more threes than Colfax does, but if Ensminger or Yerington or Fisher can get hot, they can get a big lead. But what they're doing right now is working, so I would stick with it.
The Norse will have the ball, and the Norse will be going from left to right. The Norse in their white home uniforms, Vikings in their road red. And they inbound the ball to Lambeck, gets it over to Olsen on the near side, down underneath to Pintock, who lays it up and it goes in. And Sminger into Johnson. Johnson on the dribble. Hands it off to Ensminger. He gets it across the timeline. Feeds to Ralph. Ralph to Ensminger. Pulls up with a jumper and it rattles home. Elijah Ensminger with the two. 28-27 Norse.
He's got 8 points.
On the far side is Lisowski to Lambeck, out high between the circles. Feeds it over to Olsen on the near side. Drives into the lane, stops, turns, kicks it out to Pintock, puts up a three. No, chases down his own loose change, gets it to Johnston, Schrader, who put it up and in. 30-27, 3-point lead for the Norse. Ensminger on the dribble. He's between the circles, brings it over to the near side. To Johnson. Brings it over on the left. He's got it high, wide left. Stops, takes it down to the lane, gets it to Ralph, lays it up, doesn't go in, gets his own rebound. And I think they're going to call Ralph with a foul.
Yeah, if it is, it's his third.
And it is. Orion Nichols comes in for Eli Ralph. Ralph didn't like that call. He was kind of battling for the rebound. He doesn't understand what's wrong with it, and coach is trying to explain it to him. Lisowski feeds it over to Olsen on the far side to Lambeck. Lambeck drives to the elbow, puts it up, and ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Fisher on the dribble. Hands it off to Johnson. Johnson drives into the lane, lays it up, it won't go, gets his own rebound, lays it up, no, it won't go. Here come the Norse back down the floor. Lambeck over to Lisowski, to Olsen on the near side. He gets it down low to Schrader, back out to Lambeck, shot from the corner, three-pointer.
Yeah,
it's out of bounds, and they're going to give it to Whitehall, and I would have thought that was an out of bounds when it hit the pipe up above, but evidently not. Ball comes in to Lisowski, puts it up, it's no good. Johnson with the rebound for the Vikings. Brings it down the floor, gets it to Yarrington, launches a three. He hit the three! Mason Yarrington with a three, ties the game at 30.
Yeah, it'll help once he gets hot.
Taking it into the lane and laying it up and in is Preston Schrader. The Norse back on top by 2. Fisher with it. Takes it into the lane, stops, gets it out to Johnson. To Yarrington, another three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken down by Lisowski. Long pass down to Lambeck, puts up his own three. No, it doesn't go. Yarrington with the rebound. Brings it down the floor, feeds it off to Fisher. Fisher across the timeline, feeds it over to the right side to Johnson, puts up a three. No, it won't go. Ball's being battled for. Ensminger with it. Feeds it out to Johnson, steps into the lane, kicks it out to Yarrington, to Fisher from the left corner, no. And the rebound taken down by the Norse. Down the floor comes Lisowski to Pintock, to Olsen, all on the left side. Olsen takes it into the lane. They get it to Pintock, to Lisowski. Lisowski to Lambeck, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Lambeck. Player control foul. I think he threw a little forearm at the same time.
Yeah, tried to create a little space. Got caught with a foul.
First foul on him. Theo Hovde into the lineup for the Vikings, giving Fisher a break. Johnson on the dribble, hands it off to Yarrington. Gets it over to Ensminger. Had trouble finding the handle, but he chased it down. Takes it down into the lane, laying it up is Fisher, and he got fouled on the way up.
Braden Lazowski gets the foul.
And that's his first. Second team foul on the Norse. Ryan Fisher, free throws up off the back of the iron, no good.
That's only the 5th free throw of the game for both teams.
Second shot on the way. That one's good. 32-31. And down the floor come the Norse. They feed it down low to Schrader. Then out to Lisowski on the near side. Cross-court pass over to Lambeck. Takes it between the circles. To Youngbauer. Back to Lisowski. Takes it down to the right baseline. Out to Schrader, to Youngbauer, and then over to Lisowski. Lambeck, over to Youngbauer on the near side. Takes it to the free throw line, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Yarrington.
Mason Yarrington tried to sneak in from behind and get the steal. Got caught. Is that his first? It's his first.
Second team foul. So Lisowski gets it out high to Johnston. Back to Lisowski. Lisowski feeds it down underneath, and the rebound comes down to the Vikings. Orion Nichols with it across the timeline. Lost the handle, picked up by Johnson. Johnson backs it out to the center circle. Gets it over to Ensminger. Ensminger on the dribble, puts up a 2. And the Vikings go on top, 33-32.
Ensminger has 10.
Down the floor comes to Lisowski, and he lays it up and in. So the Norse answer right back, 34-33.
Lazowski with 10 points.
Johnson with it. Feeds it over to Hovde. Hovde between the circles. Over to Yarrington. Back out to Johnson. To Ensminger. Ensminger on the far side. Gets it back over to Yarrington on the near side to Johnson. On the left wing, back out to Yarrington. He's on the dribble. Feeds it over to Hovde, high, wide right. Gets it to Ensminger, circling around, feeds it underneath the Orion Nichols, and he put it up and in.
Yeah, great find
Vikings
by,
back on top.
Great find by Ensminger to Nichols.
35-34, Vikings on top. Lisowski with it. Or check that, that's Lambeck. Puts it up, no, rebound. Taken down by Hovde in the land of the Giants. And down the floor comes Ensminger, tries to bounce pass to Nichols, and it's intercepted by the Norse. Lambeck with it. Takes it down the lane, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Hovde, I believe. It is.
His first.
Fisher checking back in for Yarrington. Youngbauer to inbound for the Norse. They get it into Olsen, top of the key. Over to the near side to Johnston. Johnston out to Youngbauer. To Lambeck, drives the lane, lays it up, it doesn't go. Rebound being battled for. Nichols with it. to Ensminger, feeds it back to Fisher, puts it up. It won't go in, but he's going to go to the line.
Yeah, good pass by Ensminger. He's falling out of bounds and gets the over the head behind his back pass.
That's
Fisher.
what new type of no-look pass, isn't
That's
it? First shot is up and good by Fisher. 36-34. Next shot, that one's also good. 37-34, Vikings up by 3.
Colfax is 7 or 8 from the free throw line tonight.
Johnston with it, gets it out to Olsen, drives into the lane, he lays it up and in.
Good little floater by Olsen.
So 37-36, Vikings by 1. Blake Johnson with it, gets it out to Hovde. Hovde on the dribble, takes it to the lane, feeds it to Nichols and puts it in.
9 points for Nichols.
I was going to say Nichols has found a hot hand and he just found a hot ball. Feeds it to Ensminger and Ensminger lost the handle and it's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, this reminds me of last year's basketball for Colfax. Get out in transition and try to pick up some quick points. Haven't seen that this year yet.
Eli Ralph back into the game for the Vikings. Ensminger to take a break. Lisowski with it. And he gets it over to Johnston on the far side. Takes it down to the baseline, puts it up. No, it doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Nichols. Feeds it over to Fisher. Fisher drives down the right side, gets it over to Ralph. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think it's on Pintock. It is. It's foul number 3. Vikings inbound the ball. Hovde over to Johnson. Cross-court pass over to Fisher. Down into the left corner to Nichols. Ball gets knocked out of his hands. He picks it up. Tries to drive toward the lane. Ran into traffic. Gets it out to Fisher. Fisher over to Nichols. Back out to Fisher. Fisher tried to feed it down to Ralph. And we're going to get a double dribble called on the Norse. Ensminger into the lineup for Hovde. Johnson ready to inbound, and he gets it to Ensminger. Back to Johnson. Johnson feeds it down underneath to Nichols and lays it up and in. They forgot all about Orion Nichols down there under the basket. And now a three-pointer launched, no good by the Norse, and coming away with it is Johnston. Gets it out to Olsen. Another three-pointer on the way off the back of the air. No good. Nichols with the rebound. Gets it to Johnson. To Ensminger. Ensminger to Fisher. And he lays it up and in.
Little run
43-36. And we have a timeout on the floor with 8:58 remaining in the game. It's Vikings 43 and the Norse 36. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
We're back here in Whitehall. The Norse have the ball. Vikings have the lead. Up by 7. I believe that's the largest lead of the night for the Vikings. Lisowski with, or check that, that's Lambeck with it. Gets it over into the corner to Schrader. Schrader stops at the lane. Feeds it to Pintock. Out to Lambeck, to Lisowski on the far side, and he lost the handle, went out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Johnson brings it down the floor for the Vikings. He lost the handle, ball gets taken away by Schrader, lays it up and puts it in.
Preston Schrader with 8 points.
Vikings inbound the ball, some pressure being put on by the Norse. 43-38, Vikings by 5. Fisher gets it over to Nichols. He's at the elbow, drives into the lane, feeds it underneath to Eli Ralph, who lays it up and in.
Eli Ralph with 8 points.
Down the floor comes Johnston, feeds it over to Lisowski. Then to Pintock. Pintock drives into the lane, lays it up, and it rattles home. 45-40, Vikings by 5.
Pintock with 8 points.
Down the floor comes Johnson, ran into some traffic, fed it to Eli Ralph, who just used his height and laid it up and in. Down the floor comes Schrader. Gets it over to Pintock on the near side. Down underneath to Schrader. Ball gets knocked loose and it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings. They're saying it went off of Fisher. So inbounding the ball for the Norse will be Pintock. He gets it in, and a ball almost got stolen, but Lambeck got it back, launches a 3. No. Rebound taken down by Nichols. Ensminger to Nichols to Ralph, who laid it up, and it didn't go. It was a pretty looking play, except for the finish. Lambeck with it. Gets it to Schrader, to Lisowski, putting up a 3. Roundabout and out. Picked up by Youngbauer. Youngbauer over to the near side. Now Youngbauer's got it again. Puts up the 3, and he hit the 3. 47-43, Vikings by 4.
Yeah, we saw Youngbauer get hot in JV game. Don't want him getting hot now.
Fisher on the drive, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on the floor.
Good D, Will.
Foul is going to be on Youngbauer. Nope, check that. It's on Pintock. Well, they're saying 3. No, it's 4. Now they've got it right. It's 4 fouls. Ensminger with the ball in the backcourt. Gets across the timeline. Feeds it over to the corner to Fisher. Launches a 3. He hit the 3! Aiden Fisher with a 3-pointer. 50-43. Vikings on top.
14.
Lambeck launches an answering 3. No, it doesn't go. Youngbauer gets the rebound. Back to Lambeck. Over to the near side to Olsen. Olsen feeds it down low to Pintock. Back out to Olsen. Olsen takes it into the lane. Spins, looking. Gets it out to Youngbauer. Shot from the corner. Off the iron. No good. That was a shot by Johnston. And the Vikings come away with the ball. Nichols with it. Feeding it out to Johnson, over to Fisher. Fisher at the top of the key. To Nichols, drives the baseline, stops, puts it up, and puts it in. Orion Nichols with the 2. 52-43, Vikings by 9.
13 points for Ryan Nichols.
This is Youngbauer with a shot. No. Rebound, battled around, and picking it up and putting it home is Johnston. Vikings coming away with it. Ensminger with it. Spin move in the lane. Feeds it to Ralph, who lays it up and in.
12 points for Eli Ralph so far.
Down the floor, Youngbauer puts it up and in from the left baseline. Ensminger taking it down the floor. Feeding to Ralph, laying it up and in. 56-47. We're going to get a timeout because I think everybody needs one right now. So with 4:47 to go, Vikings by 9, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
The Norse inbound the ball as the Vikings are leading by 9, 56-47. Norse have it on the far side. Lisowski feeds it over to Lambeck. Gets it to Johnston. Then back out to Lisowski to Lambeck on the far side. Lambeck drives into the lane, lays it up, puts it in. (56-49). Ensminger with the ball. Taking it down the left side, gets it to Johnson. Johnson out to the free throw line, hands it off to Ensminger. Ensminger over to Fisher from the corner. No, it won't go. Rebound taken down by the Norse. We're going to get a whistle and a foul.
Might be on Nichols.
It is.
Wasn't much, but just a little over the back, I do believe they called.
Second foul on Nichols. That's the fourth foul on the Vikings. Johnston takes it down to the baseline, puts it up, no good. Schrader with the rebound, kicks it out into the corner. Three-pointer on the way is no good. Nichols with the rebound. Feeds it over to Ensminger for the Vikings. Pass comes down and Ralph gets the ball back. Johnson, and we got a timeout call by the Vikings. So, timeout on the floor. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Banking on relationships.
If you spent the summer putting off home improvement projects, don't worry, Dairy State Bank can help. Whether you're planning to add on, winterproof, or repair storm damage, we can help you with the financing. For more information, visit dairystatebank.com or give us a call today. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dairy State Bank.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
And we're back here at Whitehall. Vikings will have the ball. They have the lead by 7, 56-49. 3:40 to go. Ensminger with the ball in the backcourt. Comes across the timeline. Feeds it over to Fisher. Fisher takes it into the lane. Ball gets knocked away. And down the floor come the Norsemen. That's Olsen. Lays it up. It doesn't go. Rebound chased down by Lisowski. Ball gets taken away by Fisher. To Johnson. And Johnson got fouled. That'll be foul number 6 on the Vikings, and the foul will be on Schrader. Vikings inbound the ball, and Ensminger has it. Ensminger drives by his man, feeds it over to Johnson, to Ralph in the lane, to Fisher. Shot goes up, no! Rebound taken down by the Norse. Here comes Lisowski down the floor on the far side. Feeds it across to Pintock on the near side. Tried to pass it over to Olsen, who didn't. Lisowski thought, or check that, Pintock thought he was going to move to his left, except he didn't. So the ball went out of bounds. Inbound pass, soft pass, gets intercepted. They feed it to Lambeck in the lane, gets it out to Olsen, top of the key, puts the shot up, no. Ball was saved in bounds, Ensminger with it. Vikings have it in the forecourt. Johnson with it out in the center circle. Takes it down into the lane, feeds it over to Nichols, and it's out of bounds off Nichols.
Yeah, errant pass there by Blake Johnson. Really wasn't anything there.
A little bit of rust still coming off of Blake Johnson. It's his first game of the season. Lisowski with it. Gets it over to Olsen. Olsen over to Lambeck. Lambeck to Lisowski. Lisowski takes it down the side of the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound. They're saying it went off of Eli Ralph. He thought he did not touch. He thought it was knocked out of his hands. But they award it to the Norse. Ball comes into Youngbower, but it's intercepted by Fisher. Fisher drives right down the lane. Ball got knocked away as he was going up. It's out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball.
Yeah, both teams getting back on defense on transition and making it tough on each other.
Nichols to inbound. Feeds it in to Ralph. Ralph over on the far side, right by the sideline, feeds it down underneath, and it goes out of bounds off the Vikings. Ensminger didn't agree with that call. Down the floor come the Norse. This is Olsen, drives to the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound gets taken away. The rebound was by Ralph. It got taken away underneath.
Yeah, let's see who the foul's on.
Foul's going to be on Fisher.
Kind of a 50-50 ball there.
That's the first foul on Fisher. Fifth foul on the Vikings. Lisowski to inbound it to Lambeck in the near corner. Into the lane to Schrader, puts it up, it goes in, and he drew the harm.
Preston Schrader with 12 points.
And the foul's on Eli Ralph, that's his fourth. With $1:34 to go in the game. Schrader at the line for the +1, and he got it. 56-52, Vikings by 4. Vikings inbound the ball. Fisher with it, gets it to Ensminger. Ensminger dribbles down the floor. Puts on the brakes. Almost lost control, gets it out to Ralph. Ralph with it, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. It's going to send Ralph to the line for the 1-on-1. Foul, I believe, is on Schrader. It's his second personal. It's the 7th team foul, which is why the Vikings are in the bonus. First shot is up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Schrader. To Lisowski, down to Lambeck. Lambeck over to Youngbauer from the far corner where the three, no, it didn't go. Johnson with the rebound for the Vikings, and we have a timeout called. So with a timeout on the floor, it's the Vikings on top, 56-52 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Hi, I'm Crystal, one of Santa's elves. Santa wanted to talk with you about a special program coming up on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. But as you can see, he's pretty busy right now, so we better not disturb him, so I'll tell you what's up. A little earlier, Santa and I got together and picked out some of the very best holiday-themed old-time radio programs, and we're going to present them to you during Santa's flight on Christmas Eve. So tune in to the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service, or NLWN TV, while Santa and I bring you the best in old-time radio. It all starts at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I'll see you then.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV is excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School girls basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season. Our next game will be on Tuesday, December 5th, when the Vikings will host the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Tuesday, December 5th.
Vikings inbound the ball. Johnson gets it into Ensminger. Ensminger driving with the ball. Double teamed in the backcourt. Gets it over to Johnson on the far side. Takes it across the timeline. Out to Ensminger on the near corner, and he got fouled. Caden Johnson with the foul.
Ensminger's 2 for 2 from the line tonight.
Vikings by 4. Youngbauer in, Pintock in for the Norsemen. 55 seconds and some change in regulation time. First shot is up, it's good. And Sminger to take his second shot. It's on the way. It's also good. Nothing but net for Elijah Ensminger.
12 points for him tonight.
Down the floor comes Lasowski. Feeds it off to Lembeck, who passes it underneath. The Youngbauer lays it up and in. And we get a timeout call by the Norse. Timeout with the Vikings leading by 4. 47 seconds and some change left on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Boys Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Thursday, December 7th, when the Vikings will travel to Durand, Wisconsin to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Thursday.
And we're back at action. Vikings inbound the ball. Ensminger with it. And they're going to call Ensminger for carrying the ball. And I'll tell you what, Dan, I normally don't say it was a bad call, but that was a bad call because his hand stayed on top of the ball the entire time.
It came up high, but his hand did not go under the ball.
The ball can come up as high as you want, as long as your hand stays on top. So the Norse inbound the ball. Lembeck with it. They feed it down low, tied up, and they're going to call a foul on Ensminger.
Yeah, I was waiting for the jump ball signal.
Second foul on Ensminger, and it's going to send Schrader to the line for the 1-on-1. First shot's up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Johnson for the Vikings, gets it over to Fisher. Fisher got fouled immediately. Foul by Schrader. That's his third personal. Pintock and Youngbauer are back into the lineup for the Norse. They're playing some offense-defense here. Fisher goes to the line, shooting the 1-on-1. 58-54, Vikings on top, 33 seconds left. First shot's up, it's good. This is where that free throw practice pays off.
Just coach, buddy.
Second shot is up, it's good. (60-54), Vikings by 6. 26 seconds, shot goes up, no good. Rebound, fought for, coming down with are the Vikings, and we're going to get a foul called. And that foul is going to be on Preston Schrader. Foul number 3 on Schrader. I'll check that, that's 4. First shot is up and in by Fisher. 61-54. 21 and some change. Second shot rattles home. 62-54. Vikings by 8. Ball comes down to Young Bauer. Then over to Lambeck. Long shot goes up, no good. Rebound. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. That's going to be a foul on Lambeck. And it's going to send Aiden Fisher to the line for the 1-and-1 again. Actually, he gets 2. It's going to be double bonus time. First shot's up. It's no good. Just under 12 seconds left. This one looks like it's going into the victory column for the Vikings. Second shot up. That rattles home. Under 10 seconds left. The shot goes up, no good. Rebound with 5. Whistle. And it's going to be a foul on Aiden Fisher. With 4.3 seconds left. Schrader at the line. Shooting 2. First one's up and good. I'm surprised he got a 2 on that because they were rebounding that ball. It wasn't a shooting foul. Second shot on the way. That one's good. 63-56. Vikings get it in. 3 seconds to go. 2, 1. And Vikings have victory number 1 on the season. Yeah. 63-56.
Hard-fought game there for Colfax.
And we will tell you all about it when we get to Viking postgame. And that's coming up right after this on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole in any form without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network, LLC, and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the
type. No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Whitehall High School, and joining us right away today is Viking head coach Mark Knoll. Hey, you got one in the left-hand column tonight. How's that feel?
Feels good. The boys, they needed that, and they earned it. There was nobody gave it to us. They earned it.
And my initial thoughts is fast pace. I mean, this was up and down, up and down, up and down, and it was physical. There was some hanging and banging going on down there, and then Lord help you with the free throws that you guys work on, and they were pretty deadly from the free throw line, and that really paid off for you guys.
That's what we were?
Yep.
That's amazing. That's awesome. That might be a world record right there.
Well, free throw practice pays off.
I'm proud of the kids because they played really hard, and you saw that when we got in the lane, we did a great job of finding our bigs and making that jump pass for that easy layup. We must have had...
And Eli Ralph made it look simple, didn't he?
Right. We must have had 8 to 10 of those tonight, and that was the difference in the game. You know what I mean? And then I thought, obviously there are a lot of guards, and so we ended up playing a lot of guards too at times where we would go 5-on-5 guards out there. And we had to match up, because they were trying to drive like we are. But I was happy with overall with just the efforts. There's a learning curve going on out there, especially when you've lost those 3 games against big schools. They're still trying to figure out their way, but that was closer to how we can play.
And how about Orion Nichols? He's only a sophomore, and boy, did he play some ball tonight.
Yeah, he had his mojo going. He had his confidence going. He's a fun kid to watch, and got some big rebounds. I bet he ended up with at least 8.
And although it didn't show up a lot in the stats tonight, it had to be nice to have the confidence and a little bit of the swagger with Blake Johnson out on the floor tonight.
Yeah, just having another guy out there that has that experience, that helps. He came out and had a couple passes to Ralph right away that helped Ralph get going. Those came from Blake. And then Blake also D'd up their best player the entire game and did a great job.
And we're up here in a booth here, which is really kind of unusual, but I had a nice view of looking down at the benches, and that early one, I think it's probably the shot you were just talking about. The look on your face as you ran down the bench giving high fives, I'm thinking, yes, things are going right for this team tonight.
Yeah, we always talk about how positive energy is contagious. And as a coach, sometimes I have to be hard, but I also try to bring my positive energy as well.
Well, it sure helped because these guys played their hearts out tonight, and it paid off.
Yeah, they did. They played really hard. It was fun. I appreciate you guys being here and doing this for all the people back home watching, and go Vikings.
Hey, we got another one coming up Thursday.
Yeah, it doesn't
back
stop.
into conference play. That's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, Durand's the real deal. They're tough.
Hey, but you've prepped for them, so now and.
All right, we're ready.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, and we'll be back with more Viking postgame right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
And we're back here at Whitehall High School. Vikings come away with a win tonight, 63-56. Dan, tell us how we got there.
Yeah, here's the scores for Whitehall tonight. They're led by number 10, Preston Schrader. He had 15. Braden Lazowski and Grant Olson had 10. We had William Youngbauer with 9. We had Mason Pintock with 8. And we had Caden Johnson with 4. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led tonight by number 4, Aiden Fisher. He had 18 points, followed by Eli Ralph with 14. Then we had Ensminger and Ryan Nichols with 13. We had Mason Arrington with 3. And Blake Johnson with 2. 63-56, Colfax gets a win.
So the Vikings are now 1-3 on the season. That takes care of the preseason non-conference schedule, as the Vikings will head into conference play coming up pretty soon. But hey, if they can play this fast-paced, physical style of game, they're going to be just fine this season.
Yeah, they got to match up the rest of the season, and you got to be physical in this division to even advance. So they got a test coming up.
Yes, they do, because they have a tough one coming up against the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. So make sure you join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Thursday, December 7th, as the Viking boys will travel to Durand to take on the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Viking pregame begins at 6:40 with live play-by-play to follow. That's Viking Boys Basketball on Thursday, December 7th, and hopefully we'll get Jay Fall back here. Hopefully, Jay, I did you right by this, and hey, I got us a win. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network tomorrow evening as the Viking girls will host the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at approximately 6:40, and that will be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball tomorrow evening on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Don't forget to make your plans to tune in to either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN TV for our Christmas Gift to You 2023. We'll bring you the finest in Christmas-themed old-time radio programs. That's Christmas Eve, beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Tonight's Colfax Viking Boys Basketball game has been brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT providers for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye & Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax for comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. So for Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera, this is Rick Olson. That final score, once again, Colfax Vikings 63 and the Whitehall Norse 56. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.